in particular, all the things that Truman wants to do to try and make lives better for people, they get shot down by conservatives and Southern white Democrats defeating all of his proposals. It doesn't matter what he wants to do. Between 1945 and 1948, he wants to do all kinds of things with Social Security and the minimum wage, public housing, national health insurance. He wants to do all these kinds of things in like his own New Deal, just like FDR used to do. He even wants to have a civil rights bill that outlaws poll taxes and protects African Americans' right to vote and makes lynching a federal crime. These are huge, huge things. But because America doesn't want, at least in the South, African Americans to have equal rights, and in many places in the North too, and because Republicans don't want to deficit spend anymore, Southern whites, Democrats, and conservatives will be able to block all of Truman's proposals. This makes people think that Truman could lose the election in 1948 because he can't get anything through Congress. They won't let him get anything through. Like, so for example, those white Southern Democrats, they're really angry at Truman for proposing these civil rights laws and civil rights legislations. Remember, Truman was the guy that in 1948 ended segregation in the armed forces. So even if Truman didn't get his civil rights bill passed, he still was able to get rid of segregation in the armed forces, a way to get some rights for African Americans. This kind of anger boils over, and white Southern Democrats end up forming their own political party. And this is them in 1948 at their political convention. They're called the Dixiecrats, or States' Rights Party. And the idea here is these Dixiecrats, these States' Rights Party, are going to say that they're going to preserve the states' rights to, prevent anyone from telling them what they have to do as a state. What they really mean is that the government won't tell them that they have to treat African Americans equally. And they're going to nominate this guy right here, Strom Thurmond, for president, a Southern man on a Southern platform. Yeah, that means segregation. That's exactly what that means. So we're going to see the Dixiecrats angry at Truman. We're going to see progressive Democrats angry at Truman because he's not able to get any of his programs through Congress between 1946 and 1948. And the Republican, Thomas Dewey, the guy Truman's running against, is ridiculously popular. Now, a wise man would just call it a day, right? Not Truman. Not Truman. He makes endless speeches day after day after day. He travels to all 50 states by train, 200,000 miles in the final months of the campaign, 200 speeches. He attacks the Republican Party, and here's where Truman's clever. He says, yes, I didn't get Social Security expanded. I didn't raise the minimum wage. I didn't get public housing for the poor. I didn't get national health insurance or civil rights. But you know what? That's not my fault. That's the Republican do-nothing Congress. What has Congress passed for you, America? What has Congress done for you? Anything? They didn't do anything to help any of those issues that you were upset about. Inflation, low pay. They did nothing. I at least wanted to do something, and they kept me from doing it. It's not really a fair argument because that Congress did do some things, like the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the Air Force, they create the CIA, the Marshall Plan, but all of those things, that's foreign policy stuff. It's not stuff here at home. In fact, Truman's message kind of connects with people so much, he actually is able to win. He's actually able to win. He pulls off a huge upset, a very narrow victory. He wasn't expected to